All right. Okay, greetings and welcome to another episode of the Ted in Your Head podcast. I'm Ted Moreno, certified hypnotherapist and coach. This podcast is all about letting go of self-limiting beliefs and transforming your mind. And I do believe that to tap into the power of our minds to explore what's possible, we need to have a healthy mind and a healthy body. So today we're going to have another episode of the Ted in Your Head interview series where I interview experts in personal transformation. And today my guest is Leiah Rocheleau, and she's so multidimensional, we can't call her any one thing. So I'm going to read you her bio, and you can really get an idea of all the wonderful things Leiah is up to. So she is the co-host of Good Things DC, Vegucation, and she is the former Mrs. DC America 2018, and also a member of the top 10 class at Mrs. America 2018. She was awarded the Loudon Times 40 Under 40 Award in 2017. She is the CEO of LeiahR, a brand to help people become the CEO of their own health. As a dedicated international health coach with Evolution Vegan Academy, Leiah is also an expert on transitioning others into a healthier, more sustainable lifestyle. She is a nationally certified pregnancy health coach, a noted wellness speaker, and advocate for plant-based living. And additionally, Leiah is a runway and print model, spokesperson, and television host. Leiah loves to share her active lifestyle with her family, friends, and especially with her husband and fur babies, Skylar and Ollie. So welcome, Leiah. That was quite a biography there.
Thank you. Yeah, it's difficult to sit and listen to sometimes. I would get bored.
Okay, well, we're not bored. That's a lot of interesting stuff. So obviously you have a lot of skills and talents and abilities, and it sounds like you do a lot of things. So let's start with your Instagram profile, okay, which is Coach LeiahR, by the way. Says that you help women quit diet culture, find self-love, and become the CEO of their health. Can you tell me a little bit more about the services you provide in this area of coaching women with their health?
Yeah, I think that from a very young age, women are taught that dieting is just what we do, right? We go on vacation, we come home, we go on a diet. Oh, we go on a diet before vacation, and then after vacation, and then before the holidays. And so we're constantly in this eat and then we don't eat and then we eat. We get into this back and forth pattern. And that's exactly where I ended up with my health. And I was having some health troubles and I wasn't getting anywhere with my physicians and doctors that I was going to. And so I just started diving into it myself. And what I did at the beginning was is I just kept taking more things out, which I've seen so much with my clients. They're like, "Oh, I can't eat almonds anymore. I can't eat peanuts. I can't eat wheat. I can't eat." And I'm like, that is the body sending you a signal that something's not going right. And so a lot of, I am not dogging physicians here. I love them. They are wonderful. And I work with many that are really, really good. But a lot of times the physician will be like, well, if peanuts bother you, like take them out. Well, peanuts haven't bothered you your entire life until right now. So for me, that's a red flag. And it says the body isn't working correctly. And I really help people get to the root cause of what's going on, because it's usually essentially similar things. Some people take longer to heal. Some of it is, as you know, trauma and past related, withheld emotions. And so I focus on all aspects and I refer out to wonderful people like you when it is above my pay grade.
Well,
And
thank
I
you very
just,
much. Thank you very much for your referrals. And everybody that you refer to me always takes a significant amount of time telling me how much they love you and how great you are. So,
I love all of them. And they truly, my clients are my world. And I just never want someone to feel how I felt when I first started my journey, which was very alone and very afraid because I just felt like my body was working against me and I had no options.
okay. How long have you been doing this in the capacity of coaching people, women, and you work exclusively with women? Is that right?
Absolutely. I actually do not. I had
Oh,
planned on initially only working with women, and throughout my journey, I have found some wonderful men clients. While most of my clients are higher level people, I would say in LeiahR, so executive level CEOs, entrepreneurs, people who do have a higher stress lifestyle and there's a lot expected of them. Usually everything else in their life is going amazing except for their health.
Okay.
So that's where I come in. And I had worked in corporate America ever since I was 18. So I worked in corporate America for 14 years. And I left when I was vice president. I was at the top of my game, making really great money. And I had gotten back from Mrs. America and I was sitting at my desk and I was like, is this it? Like, this is the most exciting thing I'm going to do, is sit at this same desk for the next 30 years until I get my retirement and pension. And I just kind of decided right then and there. I called my husband and said, I think I'm going to quit my job. And he had a mini panic attack. But he supported me. So that was that was at the end of 2018.
Okay. Got it. So, somebody quits their corporate job and then decide they're going to do something else. Like, what was that journey like for you, right? I mean, you're having this moment, this realization, right, that what you're doing is no longer fulfilling, and then and here you are now. So, briefly, what was that journey like? Doing now all the things that you do.
Terrifying.
Okay.
I didn't realize that I was going to heal so much by quitting that job,
Hmm.
because I feel like in order to become an entrepreneur and in order to completely recreate your life, it's going to take a lot of self-discovery and realizing, how did I get to a life I didn't like to begin with? So I feel like that's something no one tells you when you take a big leap. And it was hard. The first year, I was just loving my life. There really wasn't any pressure. My husband was like, take a year, go to school, get your health coaching certification, get your personal training certification, get all the things. But then you stop going to school, which is where I think a lot of people have trouble. And you go, okay, well, now what? I know how to go to class. I know how to pass. I know how to do that. But now, how do I create this business and this vision that I had in my head? And it was scary.
I'll bet. I'll bet.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like you've done pretty good for yourself. So one of the questions I wanted to ask you was about this pregnancy program. So I've never heard of a pregnancy program. Tell me a little bit about what that involves and how that helps women.
Yeah. So I saw a need in the market when I was working with a lot of mamas that were around my age, 30, 35. They were getting pregnant a little bit later in life. And there really wasn't any sort of support options out there. And my brother had his first baby 2 years ago. And when I was at the hospital, I'm always looking at ingredients because I really care what's in the foods that I consume. So I was looking at the formula that they gave my niece before her mom's breast milk came in. And not happy was an understatement.
Hmm.
I was appalled that that was the first thing that was going into a baby, because that's creating their microbiome right from the start. So that led me down a rabbit hole of pregnancy and breast milk and formula. And, if women can't do breastfeeding, or honestly, if they don't want to, because it is a task to take on, what are the other options out there? And what I found is that there was a lot of programs for the babies, right? All of these things for baby, but there was no programs for the moms. So that led me to developing my first self-paced course to really tell a mama everything she needs to know when she's pregnant. What supplements are recommended, especially if you're vegan, vegetarian. How much protein should you be getting? How much weight should you gain? What type of doctor do you want to work with? What are the options for breast milk and formula? And then I also put all of my Coach Leiah approved products, which is really nice. So I've done the work, I've vetted the products, and they're all really clean, amazing products that I would use if I had a baby. So I wanted to make it just a really affordable self-paced course that they could go through and have forever.
Okay, so this is something that they would do online,
Yep.
and maybe have some discussions with you on a limited basis, or if, you would provide assistance for them if needed. Is that part of it as well?
So they do have the option after the course to
Mhm.
book a one-on-one session with me at a discounted rate. And then they also have the option to work with me for a year. So if they really wanted to sign up, maybe they were mid-pregnancy and they wanted to get their pregnancy body back afterwards, or just have the support. I think that we have our mom, our aunt, all of our family members,
Yeah.
but having the support of someone who's a non-biased person to give you advice and just listen to you as you're transitioning into being a parent is so, so important.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, and when are you going to be rolling that out, the pregnancy program?
Yeah, so we are in the final workings of that. So my goal is February 1 of 2022.
Okay. Excellent. Well, we're looking forward to that, to see what that looks like. Are you going to be posting that on social media and all that information?
Definitely, definitely. And what I'll do is I'll, basically open it up for a short time and then I'll close it down again, make some tweaks just based on the feedback that I give, and then I'll reopen it probably in a couple months again.
Okay. It's funny that it's not funny, but it's interesting that women are really trying to be more intentional about uh, pregnancy and birth now. I've had a number of women come to me wanting some help and just being calm and letting everything flow. I mean, there is such a thing known as hypnobirthing, where the hypnotherapist is
Mhm.
actually in the labor and delivery. Of course, that's not something that I would want to do, but a lot of women, I don't think that would be quite my place. But uh, you know, women, more and more women have come to me saying, I don't want to be afraid. I don't want to make this a big deal. I just want to have it be very natural. And so good. That sounds really cool. So what I'm interested in also is that these YouTube and television shows that you do. Can you tell us about that? I guess you're a celebrity.
Pseudo celebrity, but
Okay.
working our way on up. And I really enjoy being, on camera and just being able to make someone smile, honestly, is my sole
Mhm.
goal. If I can make you laugh for the day, I feel like I'm doing pretty good. So Good Things DC, we just added a second city actually. So we also have Good Things St. Louis. So those are on local networks, and that's a lifestyle talk show. We talk about everything from health to like our favorite gadgets to, how to handle your family at the holidays, basically all of the things we're going through on a regular basis.
And these are on
And
local channels like Channel 2 or Channel 5 or 13.
so the one in DC is through the mayor's office, actually.
Okay.
So I could not tell you what channel that is because I don't live in DC.
Okay.
Also St. Louis, but everyone can stream them. And if they head to Good Things DC on Facebook or Instagram, it tells you exactly where to download it and stream our shows.
And you can find it on YouTube, I think, too, right?
Not Good Things, but Vegetation you can.
Okay, so tell us about vegetation.
Yeah, vegetation is my heart and soul. I actually do that show with my best girlfriend, Britt.
Hmm.
Good Things DC is with both of my best girlfriends, Britt and Kenosha. But Britt was struggling with some health challenges, and I helped her through a lot of those with changing her diet. And what we realized is there wasn't, number one, there really isn't very many shows highlighting vegetarian or veganism, getting more plant-based in general. And we wanted something that was funny and entertaining where people knew they didn't have to be a perfect vegan or a perfect plant-based person to explore eating more plants and having more plants in their diet. So we talk about so many different topics. We have our second season going now, and we basically did an episode on how to eat, like if you're in Piedmont or North Dakota, like what can you get as a vegan. So we try and make it really fun and, teach you things that you can implement right away in your life.
Okay, so that leads me to my next question, which I think a lot of people are interested in, is the whole idea of a vegan lifestyle. What you just suggested is that, it doesn't have to be black and white. You can have maybe a majority plant-based diet with some, maybe animal protein. Of course, that's not vegan, but we would call that plant-based. So, tell me a little bit about like what does it take to be vegan, and what is the difference between vegan and vegetarian, right? So I think a lot of people have questions about this, and more people are maybe exploring this lifestyle. So maybe you could talk briefly about that.
Yeah. So most vegetarians consume eggs, dairy, they're going to have some animal products still in their diet.
Hmm.
And then vegan is going to be no animal products at all. No fish, no eggs, no cheese, no milk, none of that. And I really identify with plant-based because vegan is very specific to not using anything animal-based, meaning your tennis shoes, your handbags, your clothing at home, all of that And while I think it's a beautiful lifestyle, I don't ever want to be a hypocrite. And I know I'm not there. Maybe I'll get there at some point. If I can buy something vegan, I do. But I also understand it's a very challenging life to live 24/7.
Yeah.
And I think that's the issue that so many people have, right? Is like we go for perfectionism. So if I'm vegan, I have to be perfect at it. If I'm vegetarian, I have to be perfect at it. And the answer is no, you don't. If you eat plant-based 5 days a week, your body's going to thank you for it. You're going to get double the amount of fiber that you normally would. You're going to have a lot more food in your microbiome. And in my opinion, you're going to be a much healthier cohort, you know, next to someone else who doesn't.
Okay. All right. Now, so what's the difference between vegan and, say, being a vegetarian?
Yeah. So vegan, right, is going to be plant-based, no animal products at all. So no eggs, no cheese, no
Got it.
milk.
Okay.
Vegetarians still, most of them include, some don't eat eggs, but most of them still include dairy products.
Okay. Got it. All right. And you help people if somebody decides they want to pursue some variation of this lifestyle, you can actually guide people through that. Because I know one of the problems is getting enough protein. You know, if you're not doing animal protein, then where's that protein going to come from? And sounds like you really can help people with that.
Yeah, and it's a totally different world. I mean, you wouldn't try and do a bodybuilding competition, right, without a coach.
Right.
Being where
Yeah.
you are now, I wouldn't. And but people don't think about that when they want to make a big lifestyle switch and diet switch. And I think that there's little reasons people come to me. Sometimes it's migraines, sometimes it's GERD issues, right? They're having heartburn, and their doctors have given them pills, but they're like, but it's still there. This isn't fixing the problem.
Yeah.
And so, by changing their diet, figuring out what's actually causing, yes, is a portion stress, it normally is. But a lot of us are walking around with very low levels of stomach acid.
Hmm.
So because of that, eating a very high animal protein diet, low levels of stomach acid, you're going to have lots of trouble
Right. Yeah.
digesting your food.
Got it. Got it. And I think that's something a lot of people don't understand because they'll take an antacid, right? Which
Yeah.
will actually even further lower the
Yes.
ability of their stomach to digest food. So yeah, I think there's a lot of confusion about that. And it seems to me that there's just so many more people struggling with gut issues these days.
Mhm.
Microbiome is a word now that's in our vocabulary and everything that implies. So all right. Well, thank you for enlightening us on that. What else are you up to these days?
Yeah, so I have a couple other courses I'm going to be rolling out next year. And then it's really focusing on, LeiahR is a very boutique company. I bring on about 12 clients a year. And it's so I can pour so much into each client that they get the utmost from me. So I'm not looking to, have hundreds of people as clients. I'm looking to make a difference in about 12 lives. And I do have a retreat that's going to be coming up in October of 22. So I'm very excited to get to meet some of my amazing current and past clients in person and really inspire people to just live a life that they love. I was just in Vail for the last, speaking of protein, I was complaining about on my Instagram about not having a lot of protein options in Vail. Could I have planned ahead better? Absolutely. I'm the first person to tell you that.
Hmm.
But I'm also very aware when I go away that protein is going to be a problem. So I don't stress and I don't worry about it. I mean, 1 week of no protein is not going to kill me.
Hmm.
But when I was up in Vail, really thinking of my next year, it was like, what do I want to do? And what I want to do is inspire so many people that if you hate your life, you're in control of that outcome.
Yeah,
You don't have to wake up every day and dread your life. You just don't.
that's right. You always have a choice as to how you're going to create your life, even though you may have challenging situations. As we all know, it's not what happens to you, it's how you respond that
Yeah,
determines the quality of your life. I have to mention, I saw that you were in Sedona. Did you enjoy being in Sedona?
I did. Sedona was beautiful. Like I said, I'm just getting back. So I think I'm going to be very tired next week
Okay.
because I have been on a traveling roller coaster. But Sedona, the energy there is so amazing. And I was at a retreat with so many beautiful women, and the common trend is that women have just convinced themselves to be small. And, I want to get them to be loud and big and take up
Okay.
space and, come into who they're meant to be. If you're not meant to be loud, then by all means, don't be loud, but really just coming into who they want to be as women. It was just so inspiring and, made my mission even greater for men and women, because I think there's so many components of life is always driven towards money equals success, right? But for a lot of us, it does not,
Right.
especially if we're going to a job we hate every day.
Yeah.
And, even a lot of clients that I talk to in their marriage, they're like, well, they're a really nice person. And I'm like, you get one life. Like, that's all you want? You want to be
Yeah.
married to a really nice person? Because for me, I want more than that.
Yeah, yeah, it's easy to settle because there's so many things to think about, so many things to handle and manage. Sometimes it's all we can do not to rock the boat, and certainly, changing a job or leaving a marriage, or a relationship, those things take courage because there's a lot of risk involved. So, wow. All right. So wow, that's a lot of information, and I sure do appreciate you sharing it with us. So, how can people get in touch with you if they want to reach out and maybe have a conversation with you?
Absolutely. So you can always DM me on Instagram. I'm also on TikTok, Coach LeiahR, both places. If you want to send me a message through my website, leihR.com. Full disclosure, I am blonde in those photos, but it is still me.
Okay.
Decided to go back to my roots for quarantine and loving every minute of it. I don't think I'll go back to blonde anytime soon. But really, all of my socials, I respond to everyone daily, and it's the best place to get a hold of me.
All right. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. You don't look tired. You look as peppy and upbeat and enthusiastic as you always are. So, thanks for taking the time to be in my podcast. And to my listeners out there, if you need a testimonial for Leiah, I can certainly provide it. If you want to get in touch with me, tedmoreno.com is where you want to go. So, big thanks to Leiah for being here today, and check out her stuff. It's very, very interesting, and there's a lot of interesting things on her website as well as on her social media channels. So,
Thank you for having me.
my pleasure. Happy holidays to you, and happy holidays to everybody out there. Take good care.